Let's talk about another guy, Justin Verlander. The Astros and Verlander are reportedly far apart in negotiations as Verlander is seeking a 3-year, $130 million deal. So, Tony, are the Stros content with letting Verlander walk?
I think they are, and maybe content is not the right word, but I think they're okay with it at least. If you go around baseball, look at the 30 teams, the Astros probably have the best rotation situation as we sit here in early December, at least as good as anyone else in the league. We saw in the playoffs how good Christian Javier can be. He might be a budding ace for that team. They can run 5 deep with really quality starters right now. They will look to add to that this winter, but does it have to be a Verlander type or a DeGrom type, a guy who can command $40 million? I don't think it necessarily does. They do have enough there. But that being said, if Verlander does make sense financially for them, it's a comfortable situation for both, and I could see it happening.
Yeah, look at the guys the Astros have been able to replace over the years. Springer, Correa, Garrett Cole. All right, Verlander, see ya. They'll find somebody else. Harp, could this turn into a Mets versus Yankees bidding war for Verlander?
It's not out of the question, Sal, because let's say, if DeGrom does leave and were to go to, say, the Dodgers, he went to go to the Dodgers or Texas. Texas, I think, is still a possibility. I thought that all along Texas was the only team that might go to 4 years. Doesn't sound like maybe they're willing to do that. But, yeah, I mean, on a short-term deal, I think the Yankees and Mets would both be interested in Verlander, so why not? He's going to cost you a lot of money. It's a lot of risk, as we've talked about, for the Mets to have 2 older guys at the top of that rotation. But if it's only for 1 or 2 years, they don't have a lot of options. We've talked about this, too. They don't have any pitching coming from their system that's ready to fill in these gaps, especially high-ceiling guys that could fill in at the top of the rotation. So they're going to have to pay for pitching one way or the other.
Todd, would you have any concern about those 2 dominant personalities with Scherzer and Verlander working together atop that rotation?
Well, they've worked together in the past. I mean, they were teammates with Detroit early in their career. I don't have any problem with them as dominant personalities. I do think that there's a risk, just an inherent risk on their age factor. You've got to at least assume that they're at risk for injury. I know Verlander came back from injury and was dominant again with the Cy Young. He's that kind of guy, and you know what kind of Scherzer competitiveness he brings to the table every day. But I think the real factor here is going to be Jacob and who blinks first, because I think if the Mets have an opportunity to get Jake back, then they're going to probably be less inclined to go after Verlander, but they have to keep that one hot in case Jake decides to go somewhere else. But between those 2 guys, who's going to blink first to give that option up and have the Mets have to react secondly? But look, I don't like 2 40-year-old potential guys at the top of that rotation in the next 2 years.